Nwanyerowa, Oloko, Owerri Province, November 1929. 38 years old. She is at the well before the sun is fully up. The water pot balanced on a folded cloth on her head. Both hands loose at her sides. A woman who has carried weight so long her body has stopped noticing. She is thinking about the yam seedlings, about what to cook tonight, about nothing in particular. Then the agent enters her compound. He has a notebook. He has been sent by the warrant chief Okugo, the man who takes what is not his and calls it administration. The agent says to her, "Count your goats and sheep." Nwanyerowa sets the water pot down. Not quickly, not in anger, with the specific deliberateness of a woman who has just made a decision. She looks at the agent. "Was your mother counted?" Ndewo. No. I am Yvonne Mbanefo, heritage futurist and daughter of the soil. Welcome to Igbo Daily Drops. Episode 34, Week 7, Day 4, Thursday. Today, the 3 words that became a war. Grab your free speaking workbook for this episode, Week 7, at learnigbonow.com. Ka anyị bido. Let us begin. The Igbo named this kind of moment long before 1929. Akịka sịrị onye kpata ya rie, kama azọ ụkwụ n'ala na-ekwe m n'isi ka ọ bụrụ otu. Akịka sịrị onye kpata ya rie, kama azọ ụkwụ n'ala na-ekwe m n'isi ka ọ bụrụ otu. The termite says that everybody should be allowed to eat what they have acquired, but the stamping of feet and the nodding of heads must happen at the same time. One termite stamps and it means nothing. A colony stamps together and the ground shakes. This is not a proverb about protest. It is a proverb about the terrifying precision of collective refusal. What Nwanyerowa started alone at the well, 3,000 women would complete by noon. Today, you will learn 3 ways to state what you are not currently doing. Not to explain yourself, to hold your ground. Nwanyerowa's report moves through Oloko like water, finding cracks in dry earth. She does not need to shout. She tells one woman. That woman tells the mikiri, the women's council that has governed their collective life for generations. No official leader, no warrant, no permission required. By mid-morning, the message has traveled the market network through 6 villages. They are coming to count us. In compound after compound, women set things down. Adeza is grinding pepper when her neighbor arrives at the gate. She looks up. Anagi m eri nri. I am not eating food today. She wipes her hands. She wraps her cloth around her waist the way her grandmother taught her. The way a woman wraps for work that matters. Mgbechi is on her way to the market with a basket of cassava balanced on her head. She hears the message and turns around. Anagi m aga ahịa. I am not going to the market. She sets the basket inside the gate. The cassava can wait. The British cannot. Chidimma, 17 years old, the youngest woman of the compound, watches all of this and understands without being told. Anaghị m arụ ọrụ. I am not working. Not today. By the time the sun reaches its height, the colonial district office at Oloko is surrounded by women. Not a mob, not a riot, a delegation. They are wearing their heads wreathed with young fans, the Igbo signal of war, the sign that the female ancestors have been invoked. They carry sticks around with young palm. They are making this specific tremendous noise of Ikwozu, a people who will not be silent about what is being done to them. The British officer looks at the crowd from his window. He has no framework for what he is seeing. He calls it a frenzy. The women injure no one, not one person. In 3 days, the warrant chief Okugo is under arrest. In 6 weeks, the rebellion spreads across 6,000 square miles. Tens of thousands of women, coordinated by the market network, the mikiri, running on market profits, passing information through kinship, arriving at each colonial center with the same demands, the same dress, the same discipline. The British call it the Aba riots. The Igbo call it Ọgụ Ụmụ Nwanyị, the women's war. It is not the same thing. I have watched Igbo women organize my entire life. At the market, at the church hall, at the women's meetings where my mother would go and come back changed in some way I couldn't name as a child. Something would have been decided, something resolved. I understood later. I was watching the mikiri in a different form. The infrastructure was the same. Women in a room. No official leader. Everyone with the ability to speak. And a decision that held. Writing in the Canadian Journal of African Studies in 1972, Judith Van Allen of the University of California, Berkeley, documented what the British colonial administration systematically failed to see, that Igbo women held a fully functioning parallel political governance system. Through the mikiri, village-wide councils of all adult women, they set market prices, regulated trade, sanctioned abusive men, and enforced decisions through boycotts, strikes, and the practice known as Ikwozu Ụmụ Nwanyị, sitting on a man. No official leaders, no vested authority. Decisions by consensus, enforced by solidarity. Van Allen's finding, the Women's War of 1929 was not a riot. It was the traditional mikiri governance system operating at scale. Thousands of women using their established political institutions to respond to the abrogation of their rights, precisely as those institutions were designed to do. Igbo women codified distributed governance centuries before Western political theory named it. The Maori Hui, community deliberative councils with no hierarchy, worked the same way. So did the Haudenosaunee Confederacy's matrilineal consensus system. What complexity theorists now call emergent collective intelligence, the capacity of a leaderless network to make coherent, disciplined decisions, Igbo women built into law and daily life 500 years before the field existed. The women weren't the disruption. They were the institution. Now, let us build your drops for today. Repeat after me. 1. Anaghị m eri nri. I am not eating food. Anaghị m eri nri. Anaghị m eri nri. 2. Anaghị m aga ahịa. I am not going to the market. Anaghị m aga ahịa. Anaghị m aga ahịa. 3. Anaghị m arụ ọrụ. I am not working. Anaghị m arụ ọrụ. Anaghị m arụ ọrụ. Take this with you. The women of Oloko did not need a new language to resist. They used the one they already had, the anagim of their daily lives, and said it in unison, and the colonial administration could not move. Before this day ends, say anagim arụ ọrụ, not to practice but to feel what it costs to hold a boundary in the language of your ancestors. The proverb is still true. When the stamping of feet and the nodding of heads happen at the same time, the ground shakes. Every sentence you learn is a drop, and every drop feeds Oke Osimiri Mmụta Igbo, the ocean of Igbo knowledge. Grab your free speaking workbook at learnigbonow.com. Rate us wherever you're listening. Your review is how another learner finds their way home. This has been your Igbo Daily Drop. Abụ m nwanne gị nwanyị Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. I am your sister Yvonne Chioma Mbanefo. Ka unu nwee ike ikwupụta ihe unu anaghị eme, ma ike ahụ bụrụ nnwere onwe na-abụghị ihere. May you all have the power to name what you are not doing, and may that power be freedom, not shame. Ka anyị hụ echi. Until we meet again tomorrow.